Welcome to Health, Wellbeing and Lifestyle, where experts in the field inform, educate and inspire the community to be healthier, more balanced and live the lifestyle they love. Our first guest today, Sue Williams, is a doctor of quantum counselling and a clinical hypnotherapist, and the topic we'll be discussing is being stuck in your head and 5 pro tips how to break free. Welcome, Sue.
Thank you, Megan. It's great to be here again.
Sue, can you give us 5 tips on how to build mental resilience?
Certainly. The very first thing is to realise what it is that you need to overcome. So if I'm dealing with sports people, they will come to me and tell me, I have this absolute mental block. For example, a basketballer, I'm there doing the free throws, miss every time. This person has realised they have a problem. They know what it is, but they just don't know how to overcome it. So that's the first thing. You need to realise what that problem is so that you can actually go and change it. And then the second one is setting the goal for what you want to change. So it is a goal. In this example, the basketballer wants to get the correct mindset so that every time he's standing on the line, bounce, bounce, straight through. And just a tip that I give the basketballers, being very specific here, is imagine that hoop is this big. How can you miss? And that's part of the goal setting, because then you can visualise what that huge hoop is. So that's a really good tip, and you can customise that to anything that you want to change. And of course, when we're talking about visualisation, everyone has a different learning style. A lot of people are visual. Also, people are auditory. So that particular basketballer will need to hear what the coach is saying, so that he knows exactly where his hands are placed, where his feet need to be. So he's hearing it, and then he's creating that, what with a visual person would be the visualisation. And we call this mental rehearsal because that takes in all aspects of different ways of learning. Okay, and then we move on to the kinesthetic learners. And kinesthetic people feel things. So they do feel emotions. Emotions will control their thoughts, but also they have the feelings in their body. So with our basketball example, that particular player, to overcome these, the missing the hoop continuously, they may need their coach to set them up physically in front of the hoop, standing on that free throw line. So this is the way your body should be to give it that perfect arc. The ball goes straight through the hoop every time. So they get in position and then they feel it through their body. They keep doing that. So that becomes their go-to position, and they know it's going to work. And then, of course, this is what we call mental rehearsal. And use that mental rehearsal to formulate your goals and then proceed with your particular learning style to work towards those goals. Moving on from our goal setting, we've got our goal, we've done our mental rehearsal, worked out exactly what we do to achieve that goal based on our learning style. And then we set up this routine and we prepare, we set aside time, and then we use that routine to practice that mental rehearsal over and over again. And that's what will separate the elite athletes from the weekend warriors. So it's the practice, practice, practice. That's what they do. Our goals can just be so airy-fairy if we don't plan and do the practice. They won't be attainable if you don't put in the work. And to help us achieve our goals, what we can do to get into that zone, not necessarily the zone we use for competing, but the zone where our imagination is alive, where we are focused on what we're going to do in our routine that day, is to develop a breathing practice. And breathing is amazing for a number of reasons. We're concentrating on the breathing, but it's also enabling us physically to bring in the oxygen, oxygenate ourselves, so that if we're a sports person, for example, our muscles are going to work. They're going to be well oxygenated. The blood will be flowing because we're breathing the correct way. And we breathe in through our nose. We do that so that the air actually gets warmed before it reaches our lungs. We breathe deep down into our abdomen. And we can tell if we're shallow breathing because we'll begin. If we're breathing deeply, breathe down into the abdomen. That actually gives us room for the lungs to be drawn down so that they can really fill with the air. So breathing in, and as you breathe in through your nose, have your tongue against the roof of your mouth. And that, for whatever reason, makes this breathing so much more effective. I'm not sure of the physical reason, but I know it makes it very effective. Breathing all the way down into your abdomen so that the lungs can fill completely. Hold it and then out through the mouth.
Any advice for our viewers?
Find a professional in whatever area of life your goal is. So if, for example, like the sports people who come to me, if they're looking for help, they seek my help using hypnosis and also other modalities that I'm qualified in to assist them with their mental well-being and their physical well-being. But also, if you're not sure if you're a sports person, find a good coach who'll be able to get your body set up in the perfect way for your particular sport. And mental health professionals, if you've got something that's happening in your life that you need help with, go to the professional. Don't try and work out these tricky things by yourself, because you'll get stuck in that spiral, that vicious cycle where you just don't overcome it, and you're stuck. You've got that mental block. So find the relevant professional, always the first step, and then see what they can do to help you, and you may be able to move on and do something else, set another goal.
Thanks, Sue. That's such valuable information. If you'd like to know more about Sue Williams and how to build mental toughness and get unstuck, please go to her webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. And after the break, we have another interesting guest with another interesting topic. Stay tuned. After the break, we have international meditation teacher and coach Daniella D'Amore talking about personal evolution and conscious creating. Welcome back. We have international meditation teacher and coach Daniella D'Amore here to discuss the topic of personal evolution and conscious creation. Welcome, Daniella.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Megan.
Daniella, personal evolution and conscious creation, what does it really mean?
Well, it's a big topic, really, and it's very popular at the moment, you know, with especially after the movie The Secret and various things like that, laws of attraction. But really what it means is, in my belief, of course, what it means is our own personal journey of evolution, you know, being the spiritual beings having this human experience, and how through using the creative, the universal creative energy to create into our lives, what we're doing is learning about our own power, our personal power. And the more and more we learn about our personal power, then the more we are evolving as these spiritual beings, right? Yeah. So it seems like a very complex, very deep topic, and it kind of is, but really at its core, the simplicity of this beautiful topic is just to remember that we are creators. We are creators. Like if the Creator created universes, created this world, created us, therefore in the likeness of it, therefore we're creators, right? So when we're creating, we are honouring that universal energy, whatever that is for you, whether you call it God or Buddha or whatever you want to call it. Whereas when we're not allowing ourselves to create through fears, various fears and doubts and insecurities, then we're really not honouring the Creator and therefore not honouring ourselves. So the more and more we can honour that in ourselves and take that power back, it's not selfish to do that. I think a lot of people think, oh, but I'm being selfish if I do that. No, you're not being selfish, because to love yourself and to honour yourself, then you know your power, you know who you are. And I think what happens then is we become kinder and more compassionate people.
Daniella, how could we apply this in our everyday life?
Well, you already do. You already do, whether you're conscious of it or not. And that's why I say conscious creating is about becoming conscious of what you do. And that, again, is about taking that personal power back and saying, oh, I'm creating this because I'm angry today, or I'm upset today, or I'm happy today. You know, we create all the time. Everything you have in your life right now, every single thing, you created it. Now, most of the things that we have in our life right now are good things. Are really positive things, right? But we tend to focus on the things that are lacking or we don't have, right? So we think life's hard. And when we understand that we have the power to create things in our life, we stop blaming people. We stop pointing the finger. Well, I'm like this because of my parents, the government, you know, whoever, right? We stop doing that because we're owning our power. So it comes down to basically self-responsibility. And when we're responsible for all of the thoughts and actions that we take, that makes us powerful. Makes us powerful. And we're powerful because we know who we are. We know what we want. We know what we like and what we don't like. And I guarantee, despite the more than 8 billion people on the planet, we all have different likes and dislikes. Not everybody wants the same thing. And even if they do want something similar, it's not going to be exactly the same. The beauty of that is you put your personal stamp on that. You're going to create it your way, and that's the beauty. And the world obviously needs it. So it does come down to self-belief, but we have a self-belief when we know that we are part of this immense, enormous, creative universe, and again, whatever you prefer to call it, and that we are born of that, and we have that within us, and we have that magic, we have that power to create what we need to create. And the more and more we know that, the more and more we live that, the more and more we align with that, then the more we are evolving as beings.
For the viewers at home, where's a good place to start?
Good place to start is to check in with themselves. So whenever anything is happening, good or bad, again, just stop and check in with yourself and just say, how am I feeling right now? Because even when we're creating good stuff, you want to check in and ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? Because you want more of that, don't you? You want to feel that more and more. How am I feeling? What am I thinking? What are the sensations going on? How is my body feeling? What's showing up in my life right now, right? Good, I want more of that. And the same when it's not going as positive as you'd like it to go, or there's situations, circumstances in your life that you'd like to change, stop. Just stop. Take a deep breath, check in with yourself and say, how am I feeling? What is happening within me? And let it come out. And you'll probably find that there's always some kind of fear, some doubt, insecurity that's there. And that turns into, fear. Nothing good comes from that, really. Right? So if we can come from a place where we're loving the moment, a lot of good's going to come from that. So the more and more we can stop and ask ourselves, how am I feeling right now? Like, what's going on within me? And be totally honest, then the sooner we're going to get through whatever it is we're going through and get to the other side where we can start creating, much more positive results or situations in our life. But not only that, we'll also look better, I think. We won't look so stressed and tired and frustrated, and it just makes us happier people, right? Because the more and more we're in a calm place, the happier we are. And so again, we're going to make better decisions for ourselves. And from making those decisions, then we take action, and we take positive action, which is going to result in positive results, basically. So whereas if we make decisions from a fear standpoint, which under the heading of fear is lots of, different uncomfortable situations, then if we make decisions from there and take actions from there, then the result cannot be positive. You cannot have a positive result from a not positive journey. You know what I mean? A negative journey will not provide a positive result. So it's along the way, and we're always going to have that little setback. You might be going along going, yes, 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 and punch in the air and going, I've got it, and then something will happen. Someone will say something to you, something will happen, and immediately we go straight into that autopilot, into that default. Oh, I'm not good enough, or I'm scared, or you're not feeling safe again, whatever it is that triggers you. But becoming conscious about that, you know how to move through that faster. You're not going to sit in it, not going to stay in it as long as you probably would, and blame someone else.
Daniella, that's such valuable information. Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure.
If you'd like to know more about Daniella and personal evolution and conscious creation, please go to her webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. And after the break, we'll have another interesting guest with another interesting topic. Stay tuned. After the break, NDIS business consultant and empowerment coach Jacqui Grant will be talking about the 3 easy steps to weight release. Welcome back. Our next guest today is Jacqui Grant. She is an NDIS business consultant and empowerment coach. And the topic we'll be discussing today is the 3 easy steps to weight release. Welcome, Jacqui.
Thanks for having me.
What are the 3 easy steps to weight release?
Well, that's a really good question. And before we get into the actual 3 easy steps, let's talk about the word release. Like most people say, isn't it weight loss? Now, there's the psychology behind it. If you think for a moment, I've lost my car keys, what do you naturally do? You naturally look for them, right? You go to find them, you want them back. But when you release something, you let it go. Go, I'm done. I don't need it anymore. So when it comes to weight, and we're often wanting to lose weight, don't we want to release it and let it go, and we don't want it back? So I use that word release a lot, and I thought if I just make it a little clearer, it should help for the rest of the tips, which are that you have to be in the right mindset and feeling vulnerable to lose the weight. So the first step being that you want to identify you're ready for change, that you're ready to feel vulnerable in letting go and making change. The next one is looking at your current habits. So what are you currently doing that's not working and that is working? Understanding that is where you can create change from, because often what we do is we just go ahead and go, oh, I need to change my food, I need to do this, I need to do that. You actually don't need to do anything. It's all a choice, which comes to the power of wordplay like release. And the next thing is taking it one step at a time. So once you identify what isn't working, where you're ready to create change, you choose one space, one thing that you're ready to change. If you go ahead and start exercising, if you go ahead and change your food habits, the likelihood of sticking with all of those big changes all at once is minimal, and you are going to have bigger setbacks. Taking it one step at a time helps you to feel empowered, helps you to build that confidence.
What's your experience with weight release? And out of the 3 steps, what's been the most challenging?
Hesitating here a little bit because it sounds unbelievable. I have let go of 114 kilos. So I, at one stage, was 168 kilos and my health was really suffering. I did have a health scare, which I sat there and I said, look, if I survive this, I will do whatever it takes to release the weight. So I did go ahead and see a bariatric surgeon, so a weight loss surgeon, and we'd found that my body, my stomach really wasn't working as effectively as it could have been. So to release weight was possibly something that wasn't going to happen just with dietary and exercise change. So I went ahead and had that surgery, but the biggest challenge for me was that mindset. So smaller stomach meant smaller food portions, which a lot of people do implement with their weight release, but looking at the food and thinking, yes, I can eat a dinner plate. No, I can't. I can't eat all of that. And understanding that this was a lifetime journey. So the changes I was going to make after that surgery, well, I actually started to make them beforehand, was this is for the rest of my life. This is a choice. Now, if my mindset was like, no, I can't do it, then of course I wasn't going to have success. Or if I focused on the failures of the past, I wasn't going to have success. So I developed a can-do mindset. So the mindset came in where it's like we're taking it one day at a time. We're putting in strategies of celebrating even a half a kilo gone, or a new, 2 centimeters gone. So using other tools to help the mindset stay positive and can do was things like, instead of using the number on the scale all the time, clothes. How do my clothes fit? And whenever I came against a challenge, such as not being able to do as much exercise as I want, or life got in the way and I didn't exercise all the time, I used a mindset of, you know what? This week I did exercise once. Okay, I didn't do it 5 times, but I did it once, and that's a win. But that took a lot of work, a lot of energy, and using tools such as a journal helped, supporting people in my life. So having people that actually supported me the way I required them to, not the way they thought they should. That was a bit of a challenge as well. And then there was also the fact that I went on and did other study, which really helped me to stay on track. And being ADHD, I could use those skills as well of hyperfocus. Like, I'm doing this and I've got this energy. But mindset is so hard because we play records of the past. So it does take a big lot of energy and shift to move forward from that. But it is possible. You can do it.
What's some advice you could offer our viewers?
Well, the first thing is to really watch the words that you use around your choice of when it comes to weight release. I use that a lot because it's actually empowering. And the other thing that I would get you to think about is, why is it that you want to release the weight? Like, is it because you've got a medical condition and your doctor says you have to? I mean, valid point and good advice, so please follow it. But are you wanting to do it because you've got an ideal image in mind of, oh, I want to be an amazing size 10 and have this amazing body? Not saying it's not possible, but the reason and the motivation behind why it is you're choosing, so once again, that's a choice, not a need, is so important. Because if you sit back and do this for someone else, if you choose to change your food habits, change your exercise habits, and you're doing it for someone else, it won't work long term. So really come from heart space, check in with yourself as to what's important for you and why you really want this. And then get the right people around you, such as a coach that's going to empower you. But each person's individual needs should be met for them, because one diet doesn't fit all, one exercise program doesn't fit all, and it's really important that you get your mindset right. So working with a coach that will empower you and listen to you, same as getting the right personal trainer. It's important to have the right support, the right motivation, and do it for the right reasons.
That's such empowering information, Jacqui. If you'd like to know more about the 3 easy steps to weight release and Jacqui Grant, please go to her webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. And that's all for us today. We'll say bye-bye until next week. If you'd like to know more about our show, please like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.